By the end of the video, you will learn how to gather real-time scalable data. To achieve this goal, you have two options. You can use this API which seamlessly bypasses LinkedIn restrictions, or you can use this SaaS tool which allows me to scrape over 200,000 businesses at once. Let's start with the first option, scrapping.io. The little IN sign gives us a clue about where the leads are taken from. To be more specific, this service provides 5 different endpoints, 5 scraping categories. We will come back to that in a moment, because what comes first is the account setup. Let's talk about pricing. Alright guys, I'm currently editing the video. It usually takes a couple of days. Within that time period, something unexpected happened. Until very recently, scrapping.io had 2 pricing options. One starting from $1,000 and another one starting from $2,500. Generally, I don't like pointing out prices, but here I'm making an exception, because if the cheapest subscription will cost me $1,000, I'm not willing to pay. I mean, I like you guys, but I'm not willing to spend half a salary for a YouTube video. However, suddenly prices change altogether, and the cheapest plan turned into a $30 trial, which means I can now do what 90% of product comparison videos don't do. I can check out the service myself. Do you remember our 5 endpoints? Among them we've got person profile. Basically based on a LinkedIn URL, an email or a set of various parameters, it returns profile data. What is included within profile data? Let's try it out. Here is my profile. I click on search. We have 2 different viewers, a very shiny clean one and a JSON format. Aside from our API information, the JSON object contains identity, location, career history, education, skills. At the bottom, you might also get company profile. What's funny about this is that company profile represents another endpoint. As an input, we can choose between a URL or a domain. As for the return data, surprisingly, it contains exactly the same fields as the person profile endpoint. I mean, these are identical. We can find company identity, size and reach, web and brand, headquarters and basics. Let's come back to the person lookup for a moment. I think I've seen something. Right next to profile data lies person activities. This is our third endpoint. With it, we are able to retrieve posts, comments and reactions. Let's look for posts. With that, I realize that a single credit leads to 50 script posts with 10 items each. ID, text, reaction count, comment count, URL, and publishing date. The fourth endpoint is the mirror image of the third, that is company activities. It's the very same thing with the very same data, except that you replace a profile URL with a company URL. There is just one last thing we haven't talked about yet, which is LinkedIn jobs data. I don't know if it's worth mentioning though, because this endpoint is going to be removed in the very near future. Actually, at the time I'm editing this video, it's already gone. On the other side of the line, we can find scrap.io. Scrap.io does include an API, but unlike scrapping.io, it's not its main purpose. Instead, users have access to an interface with 5 parameters. But aside from these considerations, the most distinguishing factor from Scrap.io is that it doesn't scrape LinkedIn. It scrapes Google Maps. On Scrap.io, we can scrape results from such a request in a couple of clicks. First, we choose our Google Maps category, followed by a country. Then we have 2 enigmatic parameters called level 1 division and level 2 division. Level 1 division represents a geographical division which is 1 step below the country level, whereas level 2 division represents the very same thing but 2 steps below the country level. My point is that we can perfectly skip these 2 parts and directly type a city name. We click on search and here is our preview. If you wonder what the columns are, here is another preview. And I say preview because you can collect up to 70 different columns. The reason for that is that not only is Google Maps data pulled out, but also website data as a sort of enrichment. You can actually have access to the full list for free without any opt-in. The link is in the description. Now, I believe the title of this video mentions something regarding scalability. And although 8,000 leads is a lot, it can be considered a scalable request. At least not yet. Look, there is a problem here. Do you see something wrong with this LinkedIn search? Right, most of the people from the list can somehow be contacted. Nevertheless, two of them stand out as their names are not being displayed. If we risk clicking on one of the profiles, we will see a warning message. You don't have access to this profile. To access more member profiles, continue to grow your network. These people are invisible to me. A LinkedIn search is firmly related to a LinkedIn profile. As a consequence, some restrictions can easily be implemented, and these invisible people are all leads that I can contact. We have been talking about LinkedIn for quite some time, but Google Maps is not any better. This time I scanned coffee shops in New York City and I scrolled down as long as I could. As a result, I got 120 leads, while the real number is closer to 2,800. So here is a catch. Normal requests, whether on LinkedIn or on Google Maps, don't provide comprehensive data. Now, both tools don't have such limitations. More realistically, with my 500 credit plan on scrapping.io, I cannot be 100% sure that it is scalability friendly because I can't check it out myself. However, one may strongly assume it is, as their service is based on their own technology, not relying on a user account nor on the official LinkedIn API. This means that the problem we have raised is no longer valid. The only thing I couldn't help but notice was a daily limit, but it's nothing unusual. Just like scrap.io, scrapping.io involves real-time processing, which consumes resources. Talking about scrap.io, not only can I state we can make scalable requests, I can also prove it. Do you remember our 5 parameters? Well, so far we have run a city-based search. Depending on our plan, we can expand our range by running county-based searches, or even state-based searches, or ultimately, country-based searches. If I take a look at the export panel, I will find such a file which I'm going to export. And here is what it should look like. One last thing, by clicking the link in the description, your first 100 leads are completely offered.